Good afternoon. I am Srimati Mahashakti Everlasting, and today this broadcast is going to be geared towards the goddess in you, the sex goddess, the mother goddess, the little schoolgirl goddess, your inner you, and all of those marvelous things that make up who you are. I am going to be wearing my eyes today in order to help me do this broadcast. So, what I ask is that you are patient with me today. My co-host, Nagesh L, is off doing some of the things that he does best also, and he'll be rejoining us in another broadcast. So today, I want to give greetings to all of you women out here who will hear this broadcast either live or via some sort of download. And I want to say I give thanks for your presence here on the planet at this time. Whatever field you're in of work or whatever spiritual walk that you have, I give thanks for you at this time. So, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was your inner rhythm or your Shakti. And Shakti is a force that permeates everything that creates everything that we see. It's our very breath, the rhythm in our movements, what helps us to give birth to the rest of the planet, our dreams, things like that. It is a divine feminine energy, but it is in both the male and in the female. But today, I want to talk to you about your own Shakti. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it is spelled Shakti. And it does not belong to any particular religious sect or group or anything like that. It is an energy itself, and you really can't put a religious connotation on this type of energy. So what I want you to know is I want you to start to pay attention to, first of all, the way that you breathe. A lot of us tend to breathe in a very shallow way because usually as women we're under some type of stress or duress or something is requiring our attention, and our breathing becomes very rapid, or we forget that we've even not inhaled for a while. So, what I want to talk to you today is about your own inner rhythm, that inner breath that you take. And I want you to first close your eyes as you're listening to this broadcast. And I'll remove my glasses for this part. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose for a count of 3. Hold it for 2 counts. And then exhale. So it will look similar to this. And exhale through your mouth. And as you're exhaling through your mouth, you're going to feel that breath just go all down throughout your system, through your chakras. And what I want you to really do is focus on pushing it down into your first chakra, below your navel, into your wound space, or even if you don't have a wound, but your hysterectomies or whatever has happened here, that energy is still there because you're still creating. I want you to push it down into that area and out through your yoni and into your feet. And you can actually do that in that kind of a breath. So I'm going to repeat it once more, and it's and you'll feel that. You might even get some kind of a thrill out of it. I just did. I don't know about you. So learn that breath, coupled along with the way that you move through space, is what's going to open up your world to you, whether it's through relationships or employment or just being able to be a better mother or lover, or whatever, family member or whatever it is. It's just in the way that you carry yourself and while you're breathing. So I want you to stand up as I'm talking to you too. I can't right now because our camera is just really just here. Later in some of these series I'll have one that's mounted so you can see the movements themselves. But I want you to stand up and also do that same breath that I just showed you. But as you do it, I want you to let it wind down through your hips. And you'll start to feel your hips move in a particular way. Just go with that rhythm right now. And I want you to do that. After you finish doing that the one time, then I want you to come back and listen to what I have to say to you, because then I'll know that you're completely open, and hopefully we can experience some kind of breakthroughs here or things like that in the information that I receive in dreams or whatever has been going on. And maybe I could get some confirmation from some of you as to whether or not you're feeling the same way. So I'm going to assume that you've done this now, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with what, the message is basically that I have here. And woman, I want you to know that it's time for us to get a little silent here. We are really doing a lot of talking or experiencing things that are outside ourselves: music, work, the kids, everything like that. There's no silence. Take some time this weekend to go into some sort of a silent space for at least 1 to 3 hours if it's possible. If you have children, you know, maybe you can get a babysitter, or just do it while they're down for their nap if they're young ones. Otherwise, if they're teenagers, anything, just let them know that mama's going to be taking time out to do this particular meditation. So when you go into this meditation, I want you to also take a journal, but I don't want you to write during your meditation. Just wait until after it's finished and you open your eyes and you're somewhere in the same, dream realm where you went to. And I want you to begin to write some of the first impressions that you get from your meditation. Don't censor yourself. Don't say, oh, well, this sounds crazy, I'm not going to put that down, because people will think no one's going to read this but you initially, unless you feel like you need to share any of this with us, because perhaps through this you're going to get some kind of a message too from the goddess, or get more in touch with what energy of the goddess that you carry. So try this meditation sometime this weekend. I'd be really, really interested in knowing what some of your results are, and just send me a message. Like I said, women, it's time for us to start to get silent, go into this meditation, and begin to dream. My desire is that we all get together, and even if it's in shifts of some kind, and we begin to talk about some of the things that we like to see coming into this new vibration of the fifth dimension. I know we're dealing with the fourth dimensions and all that too, but women, we're more or less shifting into the fifth dimension in terms of our dreams and the way we do things. You might have even noticed that your dreams are more vivid lately. So, like I said, my dream is for us to be able to gather and be able to have a week or a weekend where we sit without makeup, as we naturally are. No girdles, no bras, or anything like that. We're just ourselves, and we sit and we just dream together. We learn to breathe together. We learn what our own natural rhythm is together in our walk. That's something else that I want to lead into also. So it's the gathering, it's the silence, it's the meditation, it's also learning how to walk. And a lot of us carry a lot of our weight in the front, or we have, the bigger hips, or we're just tall and slender, and we just don't have even footing. Our balance is off, even in the way that we walk. And there used to be a time, a long time ago, when it was okay for a woman to have a little bit of a twitch in her walk, and men were really entranced by her and enchanted by that walk and everything. And you could see how this woman never really had any problems with her life. Or so you assume, not outwardly anyway, but she was able to move through space gracefully, and everyone was very happy to see her energy approaching them. So I want you to learn what that rhythm is in your hips. Turn some drumming on, some drum music. Get real primal with yourselves. If you feel like you're going to be lifted up in spirit, as long as it's a benevolent thing and it feels good for you, let it happen. Because a lot of times when we dance, that Shakti is able to just kind of pinpoint, zoom in on what your rhythm is and lock you in there and just really move with you and get some energy flowing through you. We sometimes have sedentary jobs where we're just sitting, all day long, or we're on our feet all day long, and we're really tired at the end of the day. But take about 5 minutes every day, turn on some drumming, some flutes, or whatever moves you, and just begin to just move from your hips. I'm not talking about shoulders, anything right now. We have enough of that with the attitudes and having to move through space and stuff. But I want you to learn how to use your hips better and to ground yourself. So just turn the music on, begin to sway, close your eyes, don't act like anyone's watching, it's just you, and just find your rhythm. Once you found that rhythm in your hips, I want you to begin to take a few steps forward with it. Try to walk like you have the hula hoop on and just move a few steps forward through it. As you're moving through space, I want you to begin to think about the things that you want to manifest yourself. Whether it's short term or long term, it's going to be up to you. But I want you to do this as you're undulating your hips. That's that Shakti movement. That's that game changer. That's the wish come true thing. That's your genie right there. It's right there in your in your hips. So I'm meaning just below the navel. Ground your feet into plant them firmly on the earth and just move those hips around and begin to walk with that and manifest things. You might even discover some emotions might come through. You might start to laugh. You might start to cry. You might just throw something. You don't know. But that's that Shakti energy pulling all of that up through you so that you can be able to stand in your own power. You know your own rhythm. It's not going to be owned by anyone else but you if you do these exercises correctly. When you learn to walk this way, you're going to notice that you're going to attract the type of men or the type of women that you will want as lovers. Also, because that rhythm is also like you know how you put a rock into the pond and the ripple effects goes out. It's a vibratory kind of thing, and it's going to start to attract to you the kinds of situations that you want with people on your job and things like that. Now, you're gonna have some haters. Once if you master this walk the way I'm telling you to, and I'm gonna show it to you soon enough, you're gonna have some haters. That's okay. They're gonna wonder how you do what you do and everything. You're not. It's not an exaggerated switch. It's a very. You see my hands? Very deliberately. If your hips are doing what my hands are doing now, you're getting close to what it is, and you're going to learn to move forward into space while doing that. So people won't know that it's what you're doing. It's very subtle. They're not going to know what hit them. They're just going to know that, wow, I need to see what this queen might desire of me to do for her today, or men will come and open the door for you, which I still believe in. Uh, just different wonderful things will begin to happen. You'll start to see your situation change as far as money and men and uh, just the way you're raising your children. And I do want to address this as far as your sex life. Your sex life is going to greatly improve because you're going to also learn to do this rhythm lying down on your back or on all fours or whatever kinkiness you and your man want to get into. You're also going to match your rhythm with his. And at the time that you can match your rhythm with his, that is when sex magic can actually occur and manifestation can really come into the lives of you as a couple. So don't be afraid to get him up too and have him to put his arms out to the side, and to learn what his own rhythm is also. And just get real, real close to each other. You know how we used to slow dance? And begin to mirror each other. Find that rhythm with each other. So when your man sees you can do this and he can do this too, he's not left out of it and it benefits you both, then it's going to take your relationship into another level. So practice with this with him. If you're not sure about what it is I'm saying, feel free to send me a message either in our Sex and Spirit group on Facebook or to me, Maha Shakti Everlasting, on Facebook. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is what I have received is that it's time to let go. It's time to let go of old hurts. It's time to let go of anything, women, that does not resonate with you anymore. And I mean everything. Anything from like, oh, I don't like this particular food anymore, to I don't like this particular spirituality or this particular relationship or where I live anymore. If it no longer resonates with you and you just get up every day, oh my God, I have to move through this day, then it's time for you to make a change. I have had those days. I've had those years before I realized that it was up to me to use my Shakti power, my own innate power, to begin to cause changes in my own life. So if you're getting up every day and it feels like a chore, whatever it is that makes you feel the most drained by it, That's the part that you need to start to work on. If it's relationships that you just can't get out of anything else, just begin to work on that relationship so that you can put it into a space where you are able to at least tolerate each other for a while and be civil towards each other until you can decide the next steps. So, but if it's something, anything else that could just be replaced, or you can move into a different situation with it, begin to let it go. It's not just saying go now and just drop everything. Begin to walk towards yourself, your own higher self, with that shimmy to you. You know, just begin to know that you are important enough and magnificent enough and beautiful enough to have exactly what it is you want in your life. And it's really time for it, because once the women are happy or content with who they are, as you know, the mothers of the earth, then we're unstoppable as humanity. But first, the women have got to come into full balance with themselves. They have to learn what their own rhythm is. They're not going at the pace of a clock, or at the pace of, you know, the feeding, or the pace of what the, you know, family members always want them to do. They're going to know their own rhythm. They're going to be able to sit down and say, this is what I feel my contribution will be to the new earth. This is what I feel I can be as a woman here at this, in this present incarnation in humanity. Because some of us, of course, have been men before. Some of us have always been women, but that's another show, and we'll talk about that. But right now, if you have a vagina, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Begin to use that yoni power to manifest things in your life. Literally get in touch with yourself. Learn how to masturbate and have orgasms if you're not orgasmic. Get a mirror and put it down there. This is an old technique. And begin to look at your vulva, the labia, everything, your clitoris, those things like that, and begin to know what it is that pleases you sexually. So you're not looking towards a man to help you find your own rhythm when you're in bed. You already know what pleases you, and you can move your hips towards it, and he's really going to enjoy you too as being your own sex goddess. Be the ruler of your own sexual power. Don't give it to people who don't earn it. You know, and through earning it, I'm not talking about, you know, financially or things like that, but they've earned it through their respect for you and by recognizing that power that's within you. And they've taken the steps towards your throne, you know, so to speak, whether it's your sexual throne or your or spiritual self or whatever. That particular person, if they're really interested in you, is going to find out about your rhythm, and you must be honest about what it is you want and who you are. Because if you're going to be in a relationship with someone that you've drawn to yourself through these techniques, you have to say, this is why I needed you here. I summoned you because. You don't have to say it out loud, but you begin to see if that person resonates with what you were trying to attract to yourself. If not, withdraw your energy immediately. Don't, if you feel that in your chest or in your belly, like, okay, I need to really refine my Shakti movements because this person is a little off for me. Go ahead and withdraw your energy from that situation. Don't wait 50 years down the road or a year down the road and you got his ring on your finger and his last name, and then you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Realize this before you've even taken your clothes off to become intimate with this person. Okay? Remember that. If you feel that in your Shakti, especially below your navel, no, that is not the situation for you, because that root chakra is your survival mechanism. Your wanting to survive comes from that part of yourself. So if it doesn't resonate, don't hesitate. Go ahead and get this person out of here. You could do it. I don't care how you do it, but he has to go. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. It needs to be the rule. All right? So I want you to know, too, that we've got next. So make sure that you have a consort who's with you, who understands that maybe suddenly you're more intuitive than you used to be, or You're probably dreaming just like, some of your other sisters, your spiritual sisters, that there's something happening in you, that you're really shifting. You no longer want certain things, or you're being shown other things. Make sure that if you're with a partner, that they understand that this is what's happening. It has nothing to do with them, but if it does, let them know that too. But that this is a part of what the earth is going through right now. It's part of its major shift into another awareness. That consciousness is already there, but as women, we're here to make sure that women are aware of it. So, do you understand that it's already there? We're not trying to just rise up and attain it or anything like that. That consciousness is already there. We're just trying to open up people's eyes to see what is really waiting for them and helping them to stand in their own power. So, we're going to be spiritual midwives, women. And we can't have any negative attitudes about the masculine energy. We can't have this attitude that, if you're not a woman, then you're not shit, this kind of thing, because I have sons and I could never be that way with them. I have grandsons and one on the way. I could never say, the masculine energy just needs to go to hell and whatever else. When you ground yourself as a woman, you will know why we do need to have that masculine energy here to help us to make this transition into the new earth. Okay? But like I said, woman, we've got next. We've got to get our game plan right. We got to all bring our A game. So let go of the bickering, let go of the things that you don't need anymore. Jettison all that, because we're going to need your energy, your intuitive powers, because all women have them. If you don't know what yours are, look up things like precognition, intuition, clairvoyance. Just Google those things, look them up, discuss them with other people. I'll do those on another show, but each woman has some sort of superpower. I'm going to tell you that right now. I need for you to find out what yours is. Okay? And someday when we're all together, I will let you know what mine are too. But I guarantee you, they're going to all lock into place like a puzzle. They are just going to come together and we can be like, oh my God, why didn't we do this sooner? That is what we're headed towards as women. We need to stop fearing each other's power. We need to stop fearing that some woman is going to come along and just because she has a vagina, she wants your man. That's just not what it's about right now. If she wants your man and your man wants her, please, boo-boo, let them go together and just goodbye, okay? Don't try to hang on to something that doesn't want you. And I mean that on any level. If its energy is rejecting you, go ahead and let that go too. So in letting go, we also have to learn how to just release. Sometimes you have to release your children to be who they are. You have to release your parents to be who they are. And so on and so forth. You have to release your friends to be who they are. But most of all, you've got to learn as a woman how to release your own inner spirit to be who you are. You've got to make sure that your own spiritual lamp remains burning so that others can see the light of the God, the light of the goddess within you, because women have both. Actually, there's no duality or anything like that. But intuitively, it's going to be a lot easier for us as women to just really unite within. You see what I'm doing with my hands? That is a sign of obeisance, but you just turn it back on yourself, okay? Honor yourself for a while. Point that at you instead of up towards a divinity you think is outside of you, or bound your head to a spiritual leader who you think is stronger than you are. You are a highly beautiful and intuitive individual, each one of you. Turn that into yourself sometimes and pray to your own inner self to show you what it is you need to do here. If you're feeling something, ask your ancestors or your higher power to show you more clearly what that vision is, and just get to work on it. There's no more time for fear. People saying you can't do it. Of course you can. If you're listening to me right now, if you really think about your life, you've really survived a whole lot worse than becoming a goddess. and creating a new planet. Okay? It's now going to be work, but at the same time, it's been worth everything you went through back there to be listening to me right now and know that it is your turn. You got next. High five. Boom. We got next. So let's just go ahead, accept it, cut away all the bullshit from your life that's going to keep you bound here in the lower levels, especially in your lower chakra. So another thing is start watching who you're letting in your bed. Okay? Just because you have an itch down there for some penis or whatever it is, just really ask this question to yourself: is this man going to be spiritually well enough to take care of me after this act has taken place? Is he going to be emotionally balanced enough, or she going to be emotionally balanced enough to take care of me after this act has taken place? Or is this just an itch that I'm trying to satisfy? If that's all it is, you're just horny, please go home. Like I said earlier, learn how to masturbate. Learn your own ways to please yourself until you can get someone into your life who can balance the ways that you please yourself. And they can teach you ways to help please them too. But you have to remember you're in charge of pleasing yourself. Don't let someone come in and determine what your joy is or what your happiness should be, or manipulate your Shakti into something that they have strings on. So you're doing the things they want you to do as far as jobs, fucking, kids, whatever it is they're wanting you to do. And you're feeling drained and helpless all the time because you're afraid you're going to lose this person. But remember what I said earlier. Go ahead and let them go, because that person is not there for your what? Your emotional interest, your spiritual interest. Anybody can fuck, dear. It's simple. But look at the aftermath of some of these situations, and unless it was rape or abuse or something like that, which many of us have to reclaim our Shaktis from also, then you're in charge of that decision that you made. So always remember, is this person going to be able to do this? Or have they done it? That's the better question. Before I've taken my clothes off, are they worthy of entering my sacred space? It's not just a hole. It's not shaped like this for nothing. It is a goddess. So you can't just let everyone, wearing what you think is the right uniform or looking like the right priest or priestess, just roll through there. Unless, you on some horny sex goddess kind of thing, you protect yourself and you just want to be a freak for a while. Hey, you know what I mean? That means you're still in charge of that. You're still in charge of your holy of holies. When you look down at your vagina, also think about a steeple. They're all shaped like, just turn it upside down. It's the worshiping of that divine feminine if this is done correctly. They perverted it by sticking it up, in the Christian churches and things like that too. But it is a temple, and even looking down at it, it's still going to look like the opening to a church, a steeple or something like that. Know that that is a place of worship. Keep it clean. Keep it the way you want people to see you. Wear beautiful lingerie over it. It deserves it. You're birthing whole worlds of people. You are doing things with that yoni and that Shakti power that's creating our world that we see out here. You're using it to create things within your home and start to treat it like your own temple. And that way, once these men or whoever else, women come in, but I'm especially talking about men entering you because they penetrate. Once they come in to penetrate that space, either they're going to be completely repulsed by you, or when he gets up, he's going to get on his knees and propose. And trust me, it's happened to yours truly. Okay? Once you get this pussy just right and you realize what it is and how to take care of it, you'll be able to attract the right kinds of lovers and the right kinds of sexual experiences that you should have. If you're having sex and you don't feel like a goddess or an angel or some higher being afterwards, begin to work on your sex magic, which first begins with you. Go back and review the things that I've said in this broadcast and begin to do them so that you can attract what's needed, because we're really trying to attract each other into sacred space. But like I said, get rid of the bickering, the jealousies, the insecurities with other women. There's always going to be someone prettier. There's always going to be someone with a better figure. Okay, but what I'm going to need is your mind. I'm going to need your mind, your heart, and your spirit to be in the next part of this mission. Just bring that to the table wherever we're gathering across the world. Uh, Bring that to the table and begin to have your own personal powwows with one another. Give each other the peace pipe and just move on. And I'm going to be talking to you again some more about the whole goddess thing. But there's something that I was really inspired to write one day, and I'm going to have to put my glasses back on and be the school teacher and read it to you. But I needed to let you know what it says, so bear with me. It says, "Look at us, family. We are so strong, so capable when we are apart. We can move mountains without utterances. We carry a light so bright within us that others see it as it bursts forth from every opening. Look at us, family. Priestesses, queens, queen mothers, mamas, angels, authors, scarlet whores, and thieves. What are we not? We are here for a reason. One both so humbling yet so exalting to this light that we carry. We are the light bearers. I want you to really look into what that energy means, and you will see both shockingly and with a sigh of relief who this says we are and why it is time for us to gather. We must gather. All of those traits I mentioned that are written in each of us and within each of us will then become a great bright beacon. How can others find the light when it is all dispersed and arguing with itself? When it is scattered? I love each one of you. You, all of you women, have been a light for me out of darkness many days and nights. We love, we fight like a family, and yet we continue in our work, still realizing the importance of doing so. Today, I declare a truce and embrace each of you. I believe this is a message from Venus to help us remember her. I want you to stay in the vibration of love, my friends, and I want you to know that it is time to gather. I love you. I'm going to return with a part 2 of this whole Sex Goddess series. We're going to go deeper and we're going to go higher at the time. Bid you peace. Get on your A game and let's gather. Bye for now.